Welcome friends on the second day of my 3-day visit to Mumbai. I'm very happy to see all of you because for me all of you are co-travelers with me, traveling on the same journey to our true home. Our true home, Sachkhand, is where we belong. We were part of Satpurish. We were part of the ultimate creative power that has created everything. Just for the sake of adventure, for the sake of finding something different from what we had, in order to enhance our experience of our true homes, we came out to a created universe. The created universe has many layers of it. First layer of created universe was when the one single state of consciousness, which we call Satpurush, we call ultimate truth, we call God, whatever name we want to give it. It doesn't matter, the name does not mean. It was one totality of consciousness. Everything was part of it. There was nothing that could happen outside of it. There was no such thing as outside. Therefore, everything was within it. The first layer of experience that happened within that oneness, one totality, was the experience of converting the essence of our being into an experience. Our essence was love, true knowledge, state of bliss. This was our essence. It was automatically there. And in order to experience that, which was our essence, we divided amongst ourselves into many souls. Souls were not different. Souls were part of the totality, never left totality, but they had the experience of individuation. That means the one could become the many within itself. There being no time or space, it is difficult to describe the situation. But without describing it accurately, it is safe to say that the many were an experience of the one within itself. So the many or the souls are merely an experience of the one within itself. It might be possible to say there is one being with several points of view. All the souls are different points of view of one being. That means a consciousness being conscious of one thing, second thing, can be conscious of millions of things, and they all become different souls of the same one. So the souls have never left the one, but created an experience for themselves. What happened? The love, that was an essence, became an experience of a lover and a beloved. That it was shared because of the division, it was shared. And what was an essence became a shared experience within the same one. There's a great joy. The bliss increased so much by making an essence into something more than an essence. So this was a very great step forward taken by that one in order to have the experience of the many within itself. This state that was created, we often say that from such khand came many islands. It's very difficult to describe. We're trying to use space and time from here to describe something which cannot be described because there is no time and space there. But in order to understand, as a simple way of understanding in our mind, we say that the souls were all very powerful individuation forms of the self. I sometimes give an example that this glass of water is only one glass of water, but I can say it has many drops. It can have 1,000 drops, or I can make the drops smaller, make million drops. I can make them still smaller and make them billion drops in this very glass. It remains the same glass. The drop and the relationship of the glass of water is exactly what the relationship of a soul is with its totality. It never left totality, it only experienced something by reducing the awareness to a drop. You will notice that the whole of creation is nothing more than looking at something from different points of view. Sometimes very large view is taken, we contract to a smaller view. We become many and confine ourselves to a very small part of the awareness. So the awareness was reduced, but the experience was enhanced, because the essence of the totality became an experience of the soul. So this is a great experience, that the knowledge, which was total knowledge, total awareness, became individuated awareness to be shared between the souls. Similarly, there were other features also which were described as the essence of our consciousness. In Anurag Sagar, which is a dialogue between Kabir and his disciple Dharamdas, Kabir tries to tell him that what I am trying to explain cannot be explained, but let us tell a story, to make a story, to understand it. And he says, Satpurush was one totality, but he had 16 characteristics, and we call them his sons. That he had 16 children, but they were his essence, his qualities. But they were not separate, but they were just experiences, so we call them, and then he names them. The first one was patience. So patience is a natural part of our consciousness. It's not something that we have to learn with our mind. It is automatic. Similarly, passion was also part of the consciousness. In fact, nothing exists in this universe, in any part of creation, that was not part of the essence of our totality. So that is why the first step which was taken, and to create the reality of that experience, it was separated in experience. That means the experience of totality was shut off from the experience of the individuated self in order to make the individuated self more real. Otherwise you wouldn't have experience, you would have felt I'm always the total. The separation was done, to describe it in physical terms, by a huge darkness, so that the light was left one side, and the darkness we separated. When we try to describe these things in a physical term, we say the Sachkhand, which was where Satpurush lived, where we all were souls, the many and the one were one. Then we divided into a great darkness called the Bhavar Gufa. The darkness, Bhavar Gufa, a cave of darkness revolving itself. That means no chance of going back. Why did we do that? Why was it done? Simply to create the reality of the soul as an individual being, the only real thing. What was next step is called today, as we call it, Par-Brahm. Par-Brahm is beyond Brahm. Now we are distinguishing between something that we call Brahm and something that we call Par-Brahm. The difference is, Par-Brahm is where the soul discovers it is a soul, and it's a reality, because immortal. Why is it immortal? Because there is no time. The immortality is not in time. The immortality is because there is no time, we are immortal. When time is created, we become mortal. So that is why the Par-Brahm which we describe is where the souls became reality for us, the highest reality. So when we are individuals, like we are here now, our highest reality is our soul. Beyond that, we are covered by a very complete darkness, so we can't even cross it. This is to make the soul the real reality, and we are our real reality as souls. What happened next? Next was to create time, to make the experience expansive, expand the experience. So we created a Brahman. We created the cause of all time and space. The time and space was born where we say is Brahman, distinguished from the Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, who were then created as a manifestation of time. What does Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva mean? We call them gods and we worship them, but the whole purpose of creating that was Brahma, the beginning, Vishnu, the sustainer, Shiva, the end. We can also call it beginning, middle and end. That's exactly what happened. Everything thereafter that comes into creation or experience has a beginning, middle, and end. That's the birth of these three universes. Now, what are the three universes? The first universe is where we are existing to create the time, spread it out, create space, spread it out, create vastness. And in the vastness, we can now put an experience using the same essences of our totality. Same essence is placed as events one upon the other, one after the other, one here and there, in time and space. It's wonderful that we can play a game in which we are now, as consciousness, creating events and placing that events in different combinations. How many combinations are possible in an unlimited time and unlimited space? Unlimited number of combinations. So when we arrange those events on that time frame, which is already created, and we put the events on the time frame, we are creating destinies for ourselves. The destinies are no more than events placed on that, and to connect the events together, we put them in an order of cause and effect. Thus, we give birth to a great law that is governing all of us today, law of karma. Law of karma is nothing but placing events on a timeline in a space with a cause and effect relationship between the two. A great job done. And then we can pick up any combination we like to play it. So we record all these things and place them in a good library. I'm again giving examples from here. In a library, we place all these recorded, how many destinies we can make. We record them like we record DVDs here. What is a DVD? Then we play DVD. When I am holding a DVD in my hand, the whole of the DVD, whether it plays 2 hours or 1 hour, is in my hand in 1 second. In 1 second, I can hold 2.5 hours of play. It will only become 2.5 hours when we play. Therefore, the millions and trillions of combinations of destinies that we were producing, when we picked up one of them, it was picked up in 0 time. But when we play it plays over the time which we have laid down between the events of cause and effect. Where do we play them? We start playing them there only through a device which is creating the time, and that device we are calling today our mind. Our thinking mind is nothing more than the device that is playing our events in time. It's great because at that point when we have placed the destiny, we can see the whole destiny at once. Just like we can see the whole DVD in our head at one time. When we play it, it becomes one after the other. Each scene is different. So when we can see the whole thing, it is one play, and that is what we call the self is now taken up a new role that is called Karan Sharir or causal body, causal self or the mind. The mind is now come into play. The mind is now creating with the power of same consciousness coming from the top, same consciousness in the soul, giving life now, giving giving it the feature where we could have awareness of it. That is life. Life means we can experience it. So the experience we are generating through life is coming still from the same source, but we are now playing with something in an outside created time and space. It projects outside on a screen. Like we make a movie and we have it all there, then we play it on the screen. So then we create a screen. And the screen is beautiful because it's a multi-dimensional screen. It can go in all directions because we created time and space in all directions. We can create a screen that runs into all directions, millions of directions. We can't even count here. And yet the mind, taking its power of awareness, wakefulness from the soul, is having that great experience. And we call it a causal experience. Why do we call it causal experience? Because the cause and effect that we have created is started from here. Everything is now connected together. One becomes the cause of something else. Why was it necessary to connect it with cause and effect? Because by connecting it with cause and effect, we could prolong the drama as long as we like. Otherwise, if we just make 5 scenes, here are 5 scenes short, finished. But is it cause and effect? the effect can become a cause of another effect, and so on, it can go on. Law of karma was born in a beautiful way, as a wonderful way, a machine by which we could create an endless drama, one after the other. Once one play ends, the beginning of the next play starts. One life ends, next life can start. So beautifully done. But that was not all. We were able to perceive, we were able to experience what was being created, as if it was happening outside of ourselves. The whole thing is happening in consciousness, but to make it in time and space, we project it on a screen which is multidimensional. But the perception was wonderful, because we could perceive from all angles. We wanted to make it more interesting. And so the next level came up. That perception was divided to make reality even more real. Perception was divided into sense perceptions, which means you could see separately, hear separately, touch separately, smell separately. So these five senses, they were separated, and the next level of experience was born, which we call the Suksham Sharir or astral plane. What the difference between the causal plane and the astral plane? Causal plane has direct perception of everything without division. In the astral plane, we divide it into five senses. The sensory system was like a body upon ourselves. That means we now began to look at the creation, same DVD, same destinies we made. Now we look through the destinies through five senses. So five senses became a body upon ourselves. The mind became the first body on the soul, senses became the second body. To make it even more real and have a greater sense of reality, to give solidity to it, we then added matter to the astral self. Sense perceptions were covered with atoms and molecules and matter as we know it in the physical world, and here we are, sitting all of us. All of us are complete with all that I've described. All of us are complete with totality, complete with our individuated soul, complete with a mind that is creating all the experiences and has picked up one destiny, complete with sense perception that divide everything into five senses, complete with a body in which the whole thing is working and functioning today. What a wonderful thing has been created. And we are all sitting here with this whole thing intact. What is the significance of this description I am doing? Significance is that nothing is outside of this. All this is covering upon the same individuated self, which is itself an extension of the totality. That means everything that we are talking about is inside this material body we are having here. And everything we see outside the body is a creation. Where is the creation taking place? Inside, not outside. It is taking place inside, being projected on a multi-dimensional screen. Outside, space and time provides that screen. I am describing this whole thing from the top bottom. Now, if you like to look from the bottom up, it will be, here we are sitting with our bodies, everything is inside us. How do we find out all the reality what I have said? Well, go the reverse way. Now we go the reverse way. Since our body is what we think we are, and we think the body has a brain, and the brain functions, the cells of the body function, the nervous system functions, the body has been structured exactly to make the whole reality fit into this body. We can explain away everything I've said just by looking at the body. Or just a game of the brain. The brain is creating consciousness. The brain is creating our ability to look outside. These eyes are able to look outside. The nose can smell. The sense perceptions are all there. Thinking is happening in our head, in the brain. And we are alive because some life has come into all the cells. Everything is here. A good starting point that everything is here, physically present. So the physical thing is all here. Somebody says, well, some people have remembered their past life. How can there be a past life if everything is here? Oh, we have now gone further. We have found out we have a DNA molecule sitting in every cell which remembers everything since the world was created. It can remember past life. And DNA is not somewhere else, it's in this very body. So we can now explain everything that is happening to us with this body. What could make this more real than this feature that everything I've talked to you, I'm drawing a big picture from creator to creation, all the levels, all can be explained by looking at this body only and the features built into this body. That's quite amazing that the body can explain everything. So we are really stuck in a reality created so perfectly that we can explain everything with a body, and we can say all the talk of there are higher regions and there was a God and creator is all somebody's myth. It's a wonderful way to create a complete reality. Physical reality is final, complete. But somebody challenges, no, they're not true. Why is it not true? Because we die. This body is very short-lived. What happened? Then we can say, nothing happens. You're born, you live, you die. End of drama. Where does life come from? And how come that we are born, some rich, some poor, some blind, some more awakened? Some people are talking of inner experiences, some are completely unaware. Why is there such a large range of different experiences? If the body is everything, there should not be that much discrimination. The pattern should be very similar. It's not similar at all. The distinction is so heavy that we are completely divided. Even a small little finger, the fingerprint is divided. We can't copy it amongst 5 billion people who have different fingerprints. We come to the eye, iris of the eye. It even goes beyond the population of the earth. It's different. DNA is completely different. What kind of system can create this? If mothers cannot produce babies with so much difference, if physical method of reproduction does not allow for such a huge difference, running into billions of differences, so therefore then the questions arise, how can these differences be explained? They can't be explained. Then some wise people tell us, no, you have past lives. That means you had a life earlier. And then we find some people remembering their past life and telling very clearly. In my own family, my sister, who I incidentally happened to be present in this audience today, when she was born, she was talking of names of brothers and sisters who were not part of our family at all. And one doctor who came to see my auntie once, he was able to say these people who she is naming are her neighbors. And he was able to check up that she indeed had neighbors who were somewhere else. In direct evidence, direct in front of our eyes, that here is a little girl, 2-3 years old, who's talking of something that is not in our house at all. And when we go and check out, it's somewhere else. In a number of cases, one professor in Jaipur has written a book, which I read, 1,000 cases he has studied, that they can all remember past lives all over the world. And the question comes up, if this is true, that you had a past life, then the question is very big. How can a person who was born and died come back into a new body that is being born in a new mother's womb? How is it possible? Then our assumption that this body is the only thing is dropped. And we have to say, what remains after death that can go into another body? We can make many kind of assumptions, but here come people who we call enlightened people, realized people, saints and mystics, who say, don't be so worried about this, you can find out yourself what remains after death and what goes into a new body. You can find out easily. How? They say there is a method, you can experience death before you die. That way you can know exactly. After death you can't know what happened. Somebody is being born, you don't know the connection, But you can find out while you are alive in this very body what will happen to you when you die. Then you will know what form survives that goes into the next body. And how is that done? What is dying while living? They explain very simple. Just simulate death. Pretend you are dead. If you have heard of the story of Raman Maharishi's very enlightenment came when he was very sick, was dying, and he had only one servant with him who had gone away for some shopping or something. And he said, I am dying, nobody is here to help me. And then he said, what is death? And he pretended he was dead. He stretched his body, rigor mortis has set in, he stopped breathing. And he says, after doing this, my thinking is so strong, I am still talking to myself. What is this happening? Is death like that? That the starting point of the discovery of death is not the end of life. If you can do a simple thing, like withdrawing your awareness from this body while awake. While I say while awake, because at night we all withdraw our consciousness and awareness from the body and go to sleep. We don't know where we are sleeping. We are in a dream state or in a state where we don't remember anything. So when we can, in a wakeful state, without going to sleep, withdraw attention from this body, what happens? We discover if we are not in the body, who we are. We know who we were when we transferred from one body to another. Now, can you imagine? This is a very simple exercise. The simple exercise is that you put your attention on something that you feel is more of you than the body. What is more of you? At least what is thinking inside looks more of you. The thinking self is more of life. The hands and feet may not be, but who's thinking inside is more of you. Okay, put your attention where you are thinking. Put whole attention there. It is known by practice. If you put whole attention on anything, you withdraw attention from something else. It is as simple as saying, if I look at these beautiful flowers, my attention goes here, part of it I still know you are sitting here. If I concentrate my attention on flower, I will not know you are sitting here. This capacity in human beings, that when they concentrate attention on something, they can become unaware of other things. There is a very great power we have. And that's the whole power that is required to die while living. Put your whole attention on who you are, other than the body. Imagine you are somebody, just imagine, you are somebody who is imagining you are sitting somewhere in the darkness in front of your eyes. Close eyes and you are flying. Anybody can imagine flying. You are flying, you are walking in a garden, you are doing many things, all the time with your eyes closed and thinking of all this imaginary stuff behind the eyes inside. If you keep on doing that, soon you will not know what is happening outside. You are all concentrating in there. Soon you will find you don't even know you have got your hands and feet. Soon you won't know you have got legs and arms. And you won't know the bottom of your body is gone. What is half known, ultimately you won't know your body. Then what you find is still there, will have a memory of its own. That's yourself. You are still seeing things, touching things, all sense perceptions are intact, your mind is intact, your thinking is intact, your memory is intact. But the one difference is, when you are trying to remember something in the body, you are connecting that with the body. How much can you remember connected with this body? When you try to remember something unaware of the body, you start remembering things which happened before the birth of this body. Very often you start remembering what happened in the past life. Some people automatically start remembering. Some people can deliberately remember by simple exercise, and we call it meditation on the self. You just meditate on your own self, you can discover, and through the memory get a direct proof. This is a method very available to us called dying while living. That means we get the experience of dying without actually dying. Therefore, then we can share the experience with others. Look, it is possible to know that this body is not our cell. Certainly not the longer living cell. It could transfer from one body to another. Because we have seen our own body which existed prior to the birth of this body. Now this is something to prove to people who say, no, this body is everything. Others sit with you, do this. I have told many doctors, many scientists who sit with me, I have told them, why don't you try? Instead of debating with me, try something. It's a very simple thing. You are withdrawing your awareness from this body and finding out who you are. And this is not all. I have only uncovered that the sense perceptions exist in totality without this body. Once you see that, you will see it's the sense perceptions of the inner self that are making these sense perceptions work in the physical body. That you could not see with these physical eyes if the inner eyes were not open. If those eyes close, these can't see. You discover it's a completely different system that is working. It's working from inside out. Your consciousness generating that body is generating the experience of even sense perceptions in the body. If you can do one step more, can you still hear me?
Yes.
If you can do one step more, that means concentrate your attention behind the eyes of your inner self. Not this self. You already forgotten this self. If you can just think of who you are inside, behind the eyes of the inner self that's flying around, that is doing everything imaginary, if you can sit there, you can become unaware of your sense perceptions. It's a matter of experience. If you become unaware of sense perceptions, you open up a perception which does not need separately to hear and see. You'll be able to hear light and see sound. You'll be able to find that all sense perceptions came from one single perception which comes from your mind. Sense perceptions are merely to enhance the reality of the experience. So wonderful. The most wonderful experience I can tell you is when you discover that even the sense perceptions were merely a body around you to give a different experience, going within that opens up the real secret of all destiny, secret of time and space. Every question you have ever asked is answered with that. Except one question. How is that alive? Where is life coming from? How is the mind or the power that is creating everything coming from? How are all these alive? That question still remains. But otherwise, every question anybody can ask is answered there. It's wonderful to have an experience where you find that the whole of our experiences in the three worlds, now I'm calling them three worlds, the physical, and the one with sensory perception alone, and the one with mental thoughts alone are opened up. And all the answers we have are available to us. No book has to be read to find the answer. You will know the answer to every question. But the question remains, who are we then? Now there is no method. As I explained yesterday, the method to go beyond is to be pulled by our own self, which appears in the form of a human being. So that is how we are able to verify this. I am trying to simplify and explain to you in a simple term. Don't make meditation something so strange and some people can only do it. You have to go to the mountains to do it. You can do it anywhere. It is not to be done in any place. It has to be done within yourself, inside. There is no outside place which will be more helpful to you. The only place that is helpful is to withdraw your attention by starting with simple things. Three things. The power to imagine. First thing, you should imagine that you are sitting in a space created by closing your eyes in the head behind these eyes. Simple. I can give you many words for it. Oh, you go to third eye center, you go to pineal gland, I can keep on talking 100 hours on just what the place is. How does it matter? If I use pineal gland, will it make it better, easier? Has anybody seen their pineal gland? If I start giving more scientific knowledge about it, will it make a difference? Not at all. Understand the simplicity of the whole thing. The simplicity is when you are awake, you cannot think, you cannot be alive except from that point. People say, I am searching for many years for my third eye center. I said, do you know all the time you were searching, you were at the third eye center? There is no other place from where you can search. There is no other place from where the mind can be awake and function. We are all at third eye center. That's exactly where we are awake when we are awake in the physical body. How are we searching something for where we are? We confuse ourselves. We just put unnecessary things. The mind likes lot of complication, a lot of classification. We love it. The simplicity of when we are just working from behind the eye, that is where our consciousness is operating from. We're looking through the eye. Imagine in this whole body, such a big body, but the whole of these sense perceptions are in a very small area. Eyes right in front in the head. Ears on the side of the same place where the eyes are. Nose not too far, mouth not too far. Imagine the main sense perceptions are all in a small area. Why are we looking anywhere else? Concentrate in this area, and then you find when you close your eyes, where are you looking out from? Where are you thinking from? It doesn't take very much effort to find that out. If you know that you are thinking from there, from the head, just imagine, imagination, the secret. You can imagine you are there. You can imagine you are flying there. Imagine you are cooking there. Imagine you are enjoying your breakfast there. Imagine you are having lunch there. Any problem? If we can do the simple things, what we are doing outside, we start doing inside in our imagination. How does it help? By imagining you are doing things where you are in the wakeful state, behind the eyes, you are withdrawing your attention there. Now, attention can be withdrawn. Attention can be concentrated wherever you like. Second big gift. Imagination, attention, the power to concentrate attention. All three things only needed to discover everything. And we all have it. We all have the power to imagine, all have the power to put attention where we are imagining, all have the power to concentrate our attention there. And we open up all these. So that is why don't make it very complicated. It's a simple thing to verify for yourself who we are. But some people say, why should we do all this? I said, do it if you are unhappy. If you are happy, don't do it. Simple answer. If you are unhappy with this world and your life is unhappy, you don't like it, you want to go somewhere better to your true home, then only do it. If you say you are happy, don't do it. One man came to me in America. He said, why are you teaching these things? Look, I've got a very big house. I've got millions of dollars. I'm very rich. I've got the latest car I can buy. I've got everything. I'm very happy, enjoying myself. Why should I meditate and have a good time? I said, who told you to meditate? Don't meditate. Enjoy your car, enjoy your house, go and enjoy your money. That's your opportunity. Enjoy your opportunity. That's what you came here for. He went away. Next week he came back, crying. I saw the same man who was very happy. Last week he was crying. I said, why are you crying? He said, the worst thing that would happen has happened. What happened? My wife left away with some other man. I said, so let her go. You enjoy your house, enjoy your money, enjoy your car. How can I enjoy anything? When the biggest shock has been given to me by my wife, an emotional pain has come, it cannot be solved by any money, any house, any car. Then I explained to him, this life has ups and downs. So long as we feel we can enjoy it, we are alive here. Only when we are unhappy with this world, only then what I am suggesting comes into play. It is not meant for happy people at all. Happy people enjoy life. But if you feel, no, this place is not our place, it has too much unhappiness. It is too much dukh, too much pain, emotional and physical. Then what I say, please try it out. I am not suggesting for everybody, I am only suggesting for people who are in a state of disappointment. This is not our place. They have discovered that. And not after one life, they may have enjoyed some lives already. And this is a stage that comes into our life when we discover this is too much pain. Now, one very good, interesting feature is that this world is not that discriminatory as we think, that there's too much discrimination, that some people are rich, people are poor. I made a study of that also at one time. That those people who are very rich, lot of houses and cars and all that, their emotional life is a ruin. And those who are very poor, their emotional life is very good. I find very poor people enjoying their life, happy. And the rich people having a lot of emotional problems. So it appears that there are some tangible things we have, some intangible things. If you put them all together, it looks like pretty much the same all over. It's only some are more of this, less of this, some are more of this, less of this. So it doesn't really matter too much. But since pain and pleasure are both pretty much equal, why do we feel it is more painful? That is because of the nature of time. Time is a very strange thing. When we are happy, 1 hour passes like 10 minutes. And when we are unhappy, 10 minutes don't pass even for 1 hour. Oscar Wilde in an essay on suffering, his opening sentence is, suffering is one long moment. When time does not pass, we are suffering. So although the time may be equally divided between pain and pleasure, the pain is felt more than the pleasure. And that is why we say, this is a world of dukh. Nanak dukhya sab sansar. So dukhya jis naam adar. Only those who have been able to open up the door inside can say we know what's dukh, otherwise called dukh because of the nature of time. So time creates this difference, and that is why when we find that we are unhappy, we want to find a way out. For those people I am making this suggestion, find out the truth. You can get true knowledge of your own self. Will this help? Will true knowledge help you in this life? Yes, it does, in a very big way. If you find that the life you are leading is a pre-played play of the DVD, your whole attitude changes. If you play DVD, it's different. Supposing you are acting on a stage, you don't suffer on the stage, you know it's an act. If your inner door is open, you know who you are, you will find this is merely a drama being played out. Not only that, it helps you if you do this kind of meditation to open up your inner eye, you can virtually, in this life, sit inside, where you third eye center, where you are meditating. You can constantly feel you are sitting on a comfortable chair there and watching the drama of life. There are many characters, including the character in whose head you are sitting here. No difference. When we say that you are generating this experience, people think the body is generating the experience. Of course not. The body is part of the experience. The one generating is inside. You can sit on that wonderful chair. I will give you another suggestion, simple. Even without meditation, just try for 1 week. Feel that this body is a mobile body and you are got a nice driver's seat sitting behind the eyes, where you are sitting with controls through which you are looking out through the eyes and working this machine for 1 week. You will enjoy the life from that day on. And if you can make yourself sit there and watch the drama, this very life changes. So it's worthwhile not only for a long-term basis, it's worthwhile for changing this life from today, just by opening up the inner awareness of who you are. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I'd like to see some people, newcomers, who come for the first time, and I'll see you again at about 3 o'clock or 3:15 and give you a little more information on how this life is constructed, how we construct it at the Causal place.